a pleasure for me to bring on Mr. David Iannucci, who is the president and CEO of the Prince George's Economic Development Corporation. And, you know, as this COVID-19 hopefully begins to leave us, we're happy that we can now find some places to go and eat. Mr. Iannucci, how are you? And welcome to WIN TV.
Thank you, Denise. Thank you. And thank you, WIN TV, for having Prince George's County Economic Development Corporation on, and for giving me the chance to talk about Dine Prince George's County. We're doing quite well here. Obviously, it's been a tough haul for the last 12 months for the whole nation, and certainly for Prince George's County. And some restaurants are among the hardest hit segments in our entire economy. Many of them have told me that December, January, and February were really the 3 worst months in their history. So under the County Executive Angela Alston-Brooks, and the Economic Development Corporation, we've created this exciting new program, Dine Prince George's County. And we're trying to encourage our citizens to eat in local restaurants and to choose their very favorite restaurants by voting. We're in week 5 so far, 2 weeks to go. I think we have more than 90 restaurants that entered the contest. And we have 3 winners a week. So it's a very exciting. People should go to pgcedc.com, and you'll see the link there to this Dine Prince George's County program. But that's what we're trying to do, trying to get our citizens to support local restaurants in Prince George's County by their votes.
Well, it makes sense, you know, because a lot of people have been home. They've cooked meals that they never knew how to cook. They're baking, they're doing all kinds of things, and now they're getting tired. You know, I hear stories about folks saying, okay, I've had enough of my kitchen. We've had this love affair is over, and they want to come on out and find places to dine. And so this is a great program. And it's hard to know who's open, who's not, who's still, you know, some of our favorite places, unfortunately, did not make it. And so this is a great opportunity, it sounds like, to support local restaurants.
You're absolutely right. And the grocery sales, of course, were up dramatically during the last year because we were all going to grocery stores and not eating in local restaurants. I know my family's made a point, at least twice a week, we try to go to a local restaurant. One, just as you said, a break from our own cooking, but 2, to support these folks who are, a lot of them put their life savings into these establishments. And it's been very, very challenging. You know, we've had several shutdowns entirely during the period where they had to rely entirely on takeout or carry out and so forth. Outdoor dining is a really big part of this. So with the spring weather that we're all enjoying and the restaurants being able to open up outdoors, it's going to be very, very good for business. And so, you know, the contest has got 2 more weeks to go. We're actually opening up to new restaurants that can be entered into the process. And you get to go and you get to vote regularly, and you have to be open for business. Food has to be your primary, what you're trying to do, selling food. It's Dine Prince George's County. We want people to eat in local restaurants. You have to be in good standing with the state of Maryland for tax purposes and so forth. But pgcedc.com/Dine Prince George's. You can go and see your favorite restaurant, and you can vote as many times as you want. And we've had 15 winners so far. And so we're very, very excited. We want Prince George's County citizens to support Prince George's County restaurants.
So once the list, can we find that list on the website as well of the top restaurants?
Yes, you can. Go to that website, and the 90 restaurants that are entered there are listed. But you can also, in the next 2 weeks, you can even nominate restaurants that might not have been nominated so far, and you can then vote for those. And it's all citizen participation.
And do they have to be sit-in?
No, they can be food trucks.
Carry out. Food trucks as well. Okay.
Food trucks, carry out, but it has to be food. We're trying to, again, the title is Dine.
Right.
We want people to you know, so that's what it's all about, is trying to get them in the outdoor dining, takeout, carry out, food trucks, and so forth.
So, I mean, with this whole pandemic and the impact that it's had on restaurants in the county and other businesses, what other initiatives are you all coming up with actually to help support businesses in Prince George's?
That's really, thank you for asking that question. The Economic Development Corporation, along with our sister agencies, FFC First and Experience Prince George's County, we put out more than $40 million in grants in the last 11 or 12 months to help businesses of all kinds, but there's been special restaurant programs. There was a special program for childcare facilities and one for hotels, giving them literally grants, not that had to be paid, not loans that had to be paid back, but grants. And in fact, I appreciate you asking the question. We're going to be announcing in the next week or two an additional $3 million that's going to be available for restaurants for $12,000 grants. This is a second round of restaurant assistance. And we're trying to keep these restaurants, make sure they still have employees. It's very important to the county executive Alsbrooks that these jobs be preserved, but we also want to keep these restaurants there. There have been predictions, Denise, over the summer that 30% of the restaurants nationwide might close. Now, the federal government has provided something like $29 billion in that last initiative that passed in a month or so ago. And I think that might single-handedly help change that prediction of 30% closures and keep many of these restaurants open. So the federal government's had a role. The state of Maryland has had a role. Prince George's County has stepped up as well, trying to support our local restaurants. That was a great question. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, no problem. And the other question I have, because in your job, you're also responsible for attracting new businesses to the county. How have you been able to do that, or have you had to really suspend that effort during COVID to really focus on stabilizing the existing businesses?
The Economic Development Corporation, you're absolutely right. Our primary responsibility is to support our existing businesses and to attract new businesses to the county. And we've had great success. Prince George's County has led the state of Maryland for 6 consecutive years in job growth. We're the fastest growing county over those 6 years in adding jobs in the entire state of Maryland. But we were hit hard by COVID, and our businesses were hit hard. Unemployment rate went up, jobs were lost. And so we did do a pivot as an organization to the grants that I talked about, the $40 million grants. But at the same time, we're continuing to focus on doing what we're supposed to do, which is support our existing businesses. And we're having good success. If you look at New Carrollton, you'll see an exciting new redevelopment project around that metro station built by Urban Atlantic. WMATA is going to be putting their headquarters there. There's a new Kaiser facility, a multifamily facility. The county is going to be very excited to open its new state-of-the-art University of Maryland Capital Region Health Hospital near Largo in middle of June. So that's an exciting project. Down in Suitland, there's about a $400 million project going under construction now, adding townhouses, soon multifamily, new retail right across from that federal center. The University of Maryland is one of the strongest areas in the county for job growth. A company called Iannucci, a world leader in quantum computing, just secured more than almost $1 billion through an IPO. And it's going to make Prince George's County maybe the quantum computing center of the world if that takes off. So those are things that we're still focusing on, exactly as you said, though, keeping firmly a focus on COVID relief for our local business community.
I kind of see this like a butterfly or whatever the thing that comes out of you have this cocoon. We've been in this cocoon. Shevry says cicada. I don't want to talk about cicadas, but with the COVID has had us sort of in this like shut down, sheltered area. But once it opens up, we're going to see a lot of great things happening in the county, and I know that's something that we all want to be proud of. And as well, I think what you're doing with the restaurants. One last question I want to ask, though. John Falchicchio literally is almost, I don't want to say begging, but it was close to that, telling people, please sign up for this program. Are you all having the similar challenges, or folks actually signing up for the different initiatives, for example, like Dine Prince George's?
Oh, yes. More than several thousand, I think more than 5,000 county residents have been voting for it. But we have other programs very similar to the program that John talked about. The county has rental relief programs as well. And your service here on WIN TV is so important, getting these messages out. I tell people to go to pgcedc.com. Not only will have information about this restaurant initiative, but it'll talk about all the COVID business relief that County Executive Alston Brooks has sponsored. You'll for childcare, for hotels. You'll find our regular services to support our business community, site selection and marketing and so forth. We have, we're just like you, we try to work to get the message out. And if you'll allow me, of course, County Executive Alston Brooks will be doing her State of the Economy speech next week. And it's going to be an exciting time, 10 a.m. next Wednesday. Again, go to pgcedc.com for some of the details on that. And she'll be talking about some of the things we've talked about here, but she's going to be talking. COVID was a serious, terrible health crisis for the nation, of course, but it was also an economic crisis. And she'll talk about some of the programs that we've tried to do, some of the ones we've had a chance to talk about here. But she's going to talk about hope and excitement and optimism that we're going to get through this. The Prince George's County is going to rebound. We've gone through some tough period. Let's all hope we've gone through the toughest period so far economically. But the county executive is going to talk about kind of the optimism that we have that the jobs are going to come back. Our unemployment rate is going to go down. Our restaurants are going to rebound. I think we're going to see a little dip in the overall economy, but I'm convinced that you'll see in the next 2 years maybe unprecedented growth as we recover these jobs that we've lost, as new entrepreneurs with new ideas, maybe people who went through a tough time and lost a job, but now they've got that idea that they always had. And maybe this is the time they're going to want to start that business. Maybe it's a technology startup around Bowie State University or the University of Maryland College Park. Maybe it's an idea they had for a restaurant that they really always wanted to open. So I think we're going to see a lot of that rebounding happening.
Well, I'm with you, and I always pull out one of my heroes' famous phrases, Reverend Jackson. I'm keeping hope alive. And I believe that with that it is going to happen. It's going to, we just got to fight through it. And we've really enjoyed having some of these creatives on the show, these ideas that were born out of COVID and now are really sustainable businesses. So I want to thank you, David, so much for being with us. We certainly want to talk to you some more in the future about the development that's going on, and we may find a way, hopefully, to share in the streaming of the county executive's State of the Economy program on Wednesday. So we'll follow up with your office on that, and keep up the great work.
Thank you so much, and you too. You keep it. It's a great message. You a great service that the Washington Informer is providing to this community. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. Have a great day. Have a good weekend and stay safe.